The European Court of Human Rights has ruled that Russia is indeed responsible for the 2006 killing of Kremlin critic Alexander Litvinenko. The former spy died while in exile in London after drinking tea laced with polonium. That's a radioactive substance. The court found that 2 Russian citizens carried out that killing. It also concluded that the attack at a London hotel was directed by Russian authorities. For more on this story, let's cross over to both Emily Sherman in Moscow and Birgit Maas, who's following this story in London. Emily, let's start with you. Remind us again, not all viewers might be familiar with the name. Who was Alexander Litvinenko?
Well, Alexander Litvinenko was a former spy. He worked for Russia's FSB, security services, and he became a bit of a whistleblower who called out the FSB on what he said was being part of a mafia state. He then fled to London, where he got asylum and started working as a writer and also as a consultant for the British intelligence services. So from the Russian point of view, he essentially switched sides, and then he was killed in 2006. Essentially, people say, for being a vocal Kremlin critic in his time in London as well. And that was a huge scandal that I think has weighed on UK-Russian relations ever since.
Birgit, in London, Litvinenko lived in the UK and was murdered there. Any reaction from Downing Street so far to this ruling? And is it likely to have any impact in the UK?
No, we don't have any official reactions, Gerhard, so far. However, the UK government, the UK inquiry, has already concluded basically the same. It was a public-led inquiry and came to the conclusion that probably President Putin had personally approved of the murder of Alexander Litvinenko. And like Emily said, this has strained UK-Russia relations ever since. It had sent huge shockwaves through the UK and became basically a symbol of the brutality of the Russia under President Putin. Now, Alexander Litvinenko's widow, Marina, is the person who was behind the inquiry. She fought long and hard for this to take place in the UK, and she was also the one who has brought the court case in Europe. She knows that unlikely that anyone is going to be arrested within Russia, but her aim is basically to keep the pressure on Russia and to basically continue to clear her husband's name. And she has told me that she's very happy about the outcome.
Emily, back to you in Moscow there. Any reaction from the Kremlin then?
We have had a reaction from the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, who said that these accusations against Russia were unfounded and that essentially this new ruling provided no new proof against Russia and not enough proof to link the Russian authorities to this murder, this killing at all. And that is essentially the position that we've seen all along from Russia. Russia has always denied that Russian authorities were behind the killing of Alexander Litvinenko. And we've even seen kind of a defiance, I think, from Russia, because, for example, one of the 2 men who has been accused both in the UK public inquiry that Birgit mentioned and also in this ruling from the EU of being behind Litvinenko's murder, one of those men has actually been a member of the parliament here for the last few years.
DW correspondents Emily Sherman in Moscow and Birgit Maas in London. Thanks to both of you.